No. They can't hear me, Bobby.
That's better.
Now you can. Okay, great. Thank you all so much for coming out. There's not a lot we know about this decision that the Board of Regents has made, yet there is so much involved in the implementation of consolidation between campuses in the university system. Of course, 8 other institutions have already consolidated into 4, and when that happened, the Board of Regents said, you know, we'll get through these and then we expect more. I'm as surprised as you are that this is the next one, but as you all know, the Board of Regents announced about noon today that the next consolidation will be between Southern Polytechnic and Kennesaw State University. It's a fairly lengthy timeline for that because it's driven by SACS, which is the accrediting agency that provides our regional accreditation. And so we expect that for the timeline, that at the November meeting of the Board of Regents, which is in a couple of weeks, that the board will approve the plan to consolidate the 2 institutions. And then there will be a lot of work to do in terms of figuring out all those details of how 2 institutions become a 3rd new institution. So there will be a lot of work there. Ultimately, we will have to provide a prospectus, basically sort of the overall plan for the new university to SACS October 1 of 2014. If that's accepted, then then SACS will approve the consolidation of the 2 institutions in December of 2014, and then the Board of Regents has to approve that at their January meeting in 2015. So we're looking at something that's 14 months away. The ultimate final details of the consolidation should be completed by fall semester of 2015. So there's a timeline. There will be faculty, staff, and student involvement in the implementation process in talking about how we bring these campuses together and create one institution. What we do know is that this final institution will be named Kennesaw State University, and Dan Papp will be the president of that combined institution. Dan is going to be here on Monday at 4 o'clock in the ballroom, and I will be there too, and we will have an open forum. And so I encourage all of you who are interested to come to that and hear more about the next steps. We don't have a lot of answers right now. Most of the answers are, we don't know yet. But I wanted to go ahead and, for those of you who have questions and concerns, to give you a chance to express them. So, what do you want to hear about? Yes, sir.
Non-SACS accreditation, do we have any guarantee that these will continue on in the degree programs that we're already registered in? Like some of our degree paths are ABET certified? ABET accredited?
Okay, that's a different accrediting agency.
Right.
SACS is the regional accrediting agency. Without SACS, we don't get federal financial aid. And SACS must approve this consolidation before it goes forward. So if for some reason there's an issue, then the consolidation will be delayed until we address those issues. So it will not move ahead without SACS approval. So we will not jeopardize our regional accreditation in any way. As far as I know, we are also committed to continuing the professional and discipline-based accreditation that we have here now. And so ABET and NAB and the construction management program that are currently accredited, I have every confidence that those will continue to be accredited. I actually know we have an ABET visit coming up next week, and I'll be talking with the visiting team about that and assuring them that we continue to remain committed to meeting the accreditation standards for some of the programs that are among the most important ones that we offer. It's a good question. Yes, sir. Are we going to be looking at tuition increase? Board of Regents sets tuition, and I don't know how that will play out. Right now, if I remember correctly, Southern Polytechnic's tuition is a little bit higher than Kennesaw State's, because in the past we've been grouped with Georgia Tech and the other research universities when percentage tuition increases were awarded. So I think ours is slightly higher now. I actually don't know what the relative levels of the mandatory fees are. But the Board of Regents will look at that for both institutions and set the tuition and fees for the new consolidated institution. Yes, sir, in the back. How does it affect SPSU's current building plan for growth? In the short term, we've got plans to renovate Building D. And as I understand it, that's still on track. In terms of the larger perspective of new buildings and new acquisitions, we don't know yet, but one of the first things that will need to happen after consolidation or in the process of building toward that will be to come up with a new facility master plan that leverages the available space at both campuses. This campus will continue to be here. I mean, it's not like we're all going to have to move north. So it'll be a combined plan that takes advantage of the great facilities and resources that we have on this campus, along with the ones on the Kennesaw campus now. Yes, ma'am.
What's going to happen to all of our organizations?
That's what's going to happen to all the organizations, student organizations.
Yes.
That's one of the things that the implementation team is going to look at. There are some FAQs, some frequently asked questions, that will be posted on the website soon, and student organizations are one piece of that, but it'll be a look at both what's happening at Kennesaw now, what's happening at Southern Polytechnic, and looking at how to bring all of that together as a single institution. So I don't know the answer to that yet, but it'll be looked at from a holistic way. Yes, sir.
How does this affect degrees that have been earned here?
This does not change degrees that have been earned here. It may be that people who have degrees from Southern Polytechnic, when you put them on your resume, after the consolidation happens, your degree will be Southern Polytechnic State University, but you may want to put in parentheses after that, now named Kennesaw State University, not because that has anything to do with the value of your degree, but what you don't want is for an employer to be checking out your degree, look up the institution, and find something on the website that says it doesn't exist anymore. So, and that's actually very common. I have a master's degree from an institution that has changed its name since I graduated, and so I say now known as X to explain that. Yes?
One of our students wants to know, did you just find out about the consolidation today?
No, I found out yesterday. I was not consulted in this. This is a decision that was made by the Board of Regents. Actually, I had a clue a few days before that, but I met with the Chancellor yesterday. Yes, in the back.
Are we now an R1 research university in terms of the expectations for the professors?
No, and actually, I'm not sure Kennesaw is an R1 university. No. But it's a good question about the impact on faculty and faculty expectations. The tenure and promotion process this year will move forward it's already on track for this year, and so nothing about that is different. And one of the first things the implementation team will be doing is coming up with a new mission statement, which will then drive any discussion about changes in faculty expectations. So that's down the road, and there will be strong faculty involvement in those conversations. Yes, ma'am.
How is housing going to work after this? Like, will we be underneath Kennesaw's rules, and as far as housing is implemented underneath their stuff?
Question is, how will housing work, and whose rules will apply?
Yes.
I think in the implementation process, the combined set of rules will be developed. This is not that we're automatically going to take what they're doing and apply it here. It'll be part of the consolidation process and talking about what those should be for the housing both in Kennesaw and in Marietta. Yes?
SPSU student Joe Thomas wants to know what will happen to the athletes committed to SPSU, and did the expanding of our athletic department affect the decision to consolidate?
I don't think athletics played any part in the decision to consolidate, but clearly this has an impact on the athletic programs that we have here as we bring the two institutions into a single one. So those are some questions that are going to need to be resolved, but it will affect how we go forward with athletics. And I can't believe you're wearing another university's hat. We've spoken about this before.
I'll take it off for now.
At other mergers, a new name has come forward for the two schools. Why not in this case?
I can't answer that question. It is true that in the other mergers that have happened, the other consolidations that have happened to date in the university system, there have been two schools with different names that come together with a new name. I don't know why that's not happening in this case, but that's been decided. Yes, ma'am.
You keep saying implementation group and team, but how are you deciding who is on that and part of that?
Question is, how do we decide who's on that implementation team? Dan Papp, who's the president of Kennesaw State, and I are each putting together lists. We'll have equal numbers of people from the two institutions, and we're looking to find a way to balance the membership of the implementation team so that it has appropriate representation of all the areas on campus and sort of bring that group together. So our expectation is that'll be a group of about 20 people with 10 people from each institution, but we haven't gotten farther than talking about sort of the overall structure of that right now. Yes, sir.
When will the Greek go from, say, Southern Polytech to Kennesaw State? I'd rather have that on Greek.
Oh, now this is a great motivation to take lots of credits and graduate as fast as you can. My understanding is that students who graduate up through December of 2014, so a little over a year from now, fall of next year, the degrees will say Southern Polytechnic State University. After that, anything that's in 2015 will say Kennesaw State University.